All right, so yesterday we used Where's Waldo, right? Okay. We're going to hold off on the information that you got from Waldo, and we're going to work through some of these note sheets, okay? And then we'll get back to Waldo probably tomorrow, okay? So you should have picked up a dark pink and a light pink paper, okay? Your dark pink is your foldable. So just like our other blue foldable, fold it to the line so the title is out. We're going to be talking about making box and whisker plots and what that looks like. If you'll do me a huge favor, and if you'll flip it over and put your first and last name on the back so that if or when you lose it, I know who it goes back to, that would be great. Once you put your name on it, you're fine, you're going to do it right. What you're going to do is you're going to open it back up, and you're going to cut on the dotted lines until you hit the fold. Okay. Okay, make sure you do that. Once you have cut the flaps, then put your scissors underneath your seat so that you don't do anything crazy with the scissors. Alright, so in order to make a box and whisker plot, we have to have 5 different numbers that we use, okay? Some of these numbers we already know. You know the word minimum. What does the word minimum mean?
The smallest.
The smallest. So if you open up your flap, the definition tells you the smallest number. This is the first thing that we're going to find. So I'm going to label it as the first. Okay, this is the first step, is we're going to find the minimum. The second number we find is the maximum, which is the opposite of minimum. So the maximum is the largest or the biggest, largest number. All right, you can do those pretty much in your sleep. You've been doing things like that since kindergarten. It takes no real math power to find the biggest number and the smallest number. That's pretty easy, okay? The third number you find is the median. And we've been talking about the median. What's another word for median? The middle. Okay? Sometimes you'll hear it referred to as Q2 or quartile 2. And we know how to find the median. We have to put the numbers in order from least to greatest and go back and forth until we find the number in the middle. If we end up with 2 numbers in the middle, what do we have to do? Add it together and divide by 2. All right. The fourth one is what we call the first quartile. But because it's really long to say quartile, we'll call it Q1. Some people also like to call it the lower quartile. especially in IXL, it'll refer to lower instead of first because it's dealing with the lower set of numbers. And then the final number we'll find is the third quartile, which is also called Q3, or it could also be called the upper quartile because it deals with the higher numbers. When finding Q1, you're finding the middle number between the smallest and the median. Okay? When finding the third quartile, you're finding the middle number between the median and the largest number. Okay? All right. Does everybody have that? All right. So Q1 is the middle number between the smallest and the median. Q3 is the middle number between the median and the largest. All right, we're going to put that to the side, and we're going to look at our light pink paper here. So we're going to use our foldable to help us with our note sheet. Okay? All right, I'm going to zoom this in so y'all can see it a little bit better, hopefully. Okay. So off to the side here, we already have it min, Q1, median, Q3, and the max, okay? If you look at your foldable, each step, the first step is put numbers in order, put numbers in order, put numbers in order. Every single one of these are put numbers in order. So guess what we're going to do first? Put the numbers in order. So we're going to put these numbers in order from least to greatest, okay? And don't speed through it because you'll miss a number, because I always end up missing a number if I go super fast. See, like here I missed a number, so I have to come back in here and try to squeeze it in. I should have the same numbers in this list that I do have up top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looking at your foldable, what's the first thing we're supposed to find? We're supposed to find the minimum, right? When I come back over here to my foldable, the first thing I find is the minimum. And minimum meant the smallest. So what was the lowest or smallest number? 12. And then the next thing we were supposed to find was the, which is, those are pretty easy, right? Especially when the numbers are in order. What's the third thing we're supposed to find? The median. Look back at your foldable. If you don't have it written down, you need to. First, second is the maximum. Third is the median. Fourth is Q1. Third is the fifth one. Okay? So we're going to find the median next. okay? Instead of slashing through the numbers, though, because we're going to use these numbers more than once, I'm going to underline my numbers to find the median, okay? So I'm going to go back and forth until I find the median. But I have two numbers in the middle. I have a 20 and a 33. What do I do if I have two numbers in the middle? Really? Add them and divide it by 2. So I'm going to chop it in half right there. I'm going to add 20 plus 33, which gives me 53, and then I'm going to divide it by 2, which is going to give me 26.5, which we also say is 26 and a half. So 26 and a half is my median. Now we can find Q1 and Q3. Okay, so the way I do that is I box in my lower part. This is the lower quartile, the lower half of my data. So Q1 has got to come from the middle of these numbers. So now I can slash them because I'm not going to use them anymore. Back and forth. Once again, I get two numbers in the middle, so what do I have to do? Add them and divide. So 15 plus 20, 35, divided by 2. 17 and a half, right? Okay, so 17 and a half is my Q1. Does everybody understand how I got that? We're going to do the same thing to the other half. Back and forth. We have two numbers in the middle. So we got to add and divide. So 35 plus 40 gives me 75 divided by 2. 37 and a half. So we found the middle, found the middle, found the middle. That's basically all you're doing. Okay. Now we use this information to find what we call the IQR. Okay. In your blue foldable, which you don't have to get out, I've got it right here. It's the last number, or it's the last word in our blue foldable that we haven't talked about. The IQR stands for interquartile range, is what it stands for. Okay. And range means big minus small, right? That's basically what we're doing, but we're doing big minus small with Q3 and Q1. So IQR is just Q3 minus Q1. So IQR is Q3 minus Q1. And you might want to write that down somewhere because that's what your Excel assignments are going to be. So here we have our Q3 is 37 and a half minus our Q1, which is 17 and a half. When I subtract those two, I get what? 20. You're right, 20. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how we're going to take all these numbers and put it on this number line to make a box and whisker plot, but we're not making box and whisker plots today. Okay, we're just going to focus on finding our numbers today. Okay? All right. All right, let's try it again. What's our very first step? Well, before we do any of that, what do we got to do?
Gotta put them in order.
Put them in order. So let's see if I can not skip a number this time. Okay. After we put them in order, what do we do? What do we find first? The minimum. Which one's the minimum? 23, because it's the smallest. Then we find the biggest, the maximum. And now we find the median. Okay, go min, max, median, 1, 3. Okay, kind of like a pattern in a way. So back and forth. What happens? Two numbers, so we gotta add and divide. So 38 plus 41 gives me what, 79? So then when 79 divided by 2 gives me
36.5.
36 and a half. You should have the same amount of numbers on one side that you do the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you don't have the same amount of numbers on each side, then you did something wrong. And that's just a quick way to check. So our median is 36 and a half. Now we can find Q1. Is Q1 the bigger numbers or the smaller numbers? The smaller, they're the lower numbers. So we can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What happens again? We have two numbers again, so what do we have to do? We have to add them and divide by 2. Y'all are going to be perfect adders and dividers by the end of this. You get 60. 60 divided by 2 gives me... Because if you look, we're trying to find the halfway point. What's the halfway point between 29 and 31? What's right between 29 and 31? 30. When you count, you go 29, 30, 31. 30 is right between 29 and 31. All right, same thing on the other side. Back and forth, back and forth. Got to chop it in half, add them up. What do I get? I get 85. 85 divided by 2. My eager beavers. How much? 42 and a half. So we want to find the IQR, the interquartile range, which is Q3 minus Q1. So our Q3, our quartile 3, 42 and a half minus 30, which gives me 12.5, 12 and a half. Each one of these ended up, when we first found the median, had two numbers in the middle, right? This next one is going to show us what do we do when we only have one number in the middle, because it's different. Okay, so I'm going to show you this one, and then I'm going to let y'all practice. Okay, I'll stop talking, because I know you're probably tired of hearing me talk. All right, you got to be careful here, because we got about 15 numbers, so you got to be careful not to miss any of them. Okay, so let's put them in order first. You might have to write a little bit small. I'm gonna run out of room. Mm-hmm. 81, 87, 89. All right, first step is what? Minimum, which is what?
50.
All right, what's the next one? Which is?
89.
Okay, now we find the median. So we're going to go back and forth until we find the number in the middle.
Teachers, please release the softball players at this time.
Okay, I'm going to circle the number in the middle right there, 66. Okay? That is, because we only had one number in the median, right? So 66 is our median. Now here's what's different. We have, that goes in the notes section. All right, this right here has already been used. This is like that line we've been using up here where we've been chopping it, okay? So we don't use this 66 anymore. That's why we circled it. We use all the numbers behind it, but we don't include it. Okay, so we're going to find the median of this lower half. Everybody saw we didn't include that 66 in this lower part, right? That's the number one mistake everybody makes. So we go back and forth here.
And can't you start chopping with these because
yes.
You're not in?
Fill up, Maddie. So we get 58. And we do the same thing with the lower half. Don't include the median, but everything in front of it. And you can chop these back and forth.
79.
And 79 is our middle number, so Q3. So if I wanted to find our IQR,
You take 79.
it would be 79 minus 58, which would equal 21. Okay? All right. Now you're going to end up practicing. You're going to practice on JJ7. Okay?